In this video, I'm going to show you guys what Claude Design is, how you can get started, how you can build slide decks, prototypes, and interactive videos, plus all the pro tips I wish someone had told me on day one. So let's get started. So what is Claude Design? Well, Claude Design is Anthropic's new visual tool that launched very recently, and it's built on the back of Opus 4.7, their most capable model to date. You essentially type in a prompt, Claude generates an initial draft, you refine it, and then that is the loop. But here's what makes this different. It doesn't just make static mockups, it makes code-powered prototypes, and we're talking clickable interfaces, slide decks, landing pages, one-pagers, and interactive experiences with voice, video, 3D, and shaders baked in. It's important to know that this tool is not replacing Figma, it's just replacing the blank canvas. You essentially use this tool to generate your first draft, and then you export it to Figma or Canva to finish. So getting it is pretty simple. You just need to go to claude.ai/design. Now, let's quickly talk about the pricing because this one may surprise you. For Claude Design, you cannot access this for free. You're going to need either a Pro or a Max subscription plan. Now, if you really want to use this and push this to the limit, it's probably best you do get a Max subscription plan because almost everyone I know that has used this, after only a few tries, have actually run out of their usage. If you want to track your usage, especially for Claude Design, here's the thing that I'd recommend. Before you start prompting away, make sure that you have this tab open. Click your icon, then click settings, then go over to usage, and make sure that when it comes to Claude Design, after every prompt, you're checking your Claude Design weekly usage limit because it actually has a separate usage limit that you need to be aware of. And remember, it actually tells us that the usage here doesn't count towards our other limits, so it's completely separate. So I'd keep an eye on this while you're experimenting because you can run out very quickly. Now, when you come on over to Claude Design, one of the first things you're going to need to do is to make sure you have your design system. It is worthwhile to do this because if you don't, you're going to spend a lot of time in the future continually prompting, which is just a complete waste of time. Let's click design system and let's start setting up our design system. So setting up your design system is fairly easy, but I'd recommend not doing it manually, but using the help of AI. All this is doing is essentially giving yourself a brand guide so that when the AI outputs its files, it knows exactly how to design them on brand so that it doesn't get confused. Not only is this going to save you time, but it's also going to save you tokens and compute because you won't have to ask the AI to fix things and change them after it's already designed them. It's going to get it right the first try. So let me show you guys what you want to do so you can do this pretty correctly. So in order to do this, we can use chat feature with any AI, provided as long as it has images, this will work. So what I'm going to do here is first get some images of my existing brand. And what I'm going to say is I'm going to say create a style guide / brand guide that I can hand off to a designer so they stay on brand for my brand, the AI grid. Export as PDF, please. The reason we're doing this is so that Claude can actually have the details of our brand. Unless you already have a specific brand guideline, this is the easiest way to quickly get one. Or, which is probably better considering the AI struggles at that task, upload your logos as screenshots. So let's go ahead and continue to generation. And it's going to take 5 minutes to generate our design system. So let's generate this and just wait. So now you can see after 5 minutes, our design system is successfully built. If Claude doesn't actually have access to your font, one of the things it will ask you to do is to upload that specific font. Of course, I'll do that now since I know exactly what my font is. And I would suggest you guys do the same so it's able to replicate your brand perfectly. Otherwise, you can go ahead and check what other things need review. So while clicking this and looking down, you'll see a tab that says needs review. And I've got 12 things that I need to review before I approve. If I want to approve them or disapprove them, what I can do is I can click on each one and then I can say looks good or needs work. What I'm now going to do is upload even more of the font files because Claude is essentially saying to me that it can't just use one font style. And although this is a minor thing, if you are someone that's in the design world, you'll know that you'll essentially need multiple fonts for multiple different things. It is best to upload as many files as you can. That way Claude has all of the context it needs to be able to get the work done. So once you've made all of your changes and you're comfortable with everything, just make sure you click looks good on everything so that you can essentially ensure that Claude won't make these mistakes in the future. I know that these might seem a little bit tedious to click through, okay, this looks good, but I would say that it is very useful to do this because if you don't, in the future, you're going to have to make even more edits, which is going to cost more usage. So it's best just to do it now. And once that's done, what you can do is now do a new design using this system. So now you can see here, when we're back on the main page, we now have our AI grid design system right here. Now, do remember that if you actually messed up, let's say you didn't like your design system, you can always go back into it. You can click into it and you can go back and edit that design system, or you can go ahead and share this with your team. That way, if they're using Claude Design as well, they can go ahead and use that design system. Also, if you want to, let's say you own multiple different brands, what you can do is you can click design systems. And then what you can do is you can create a new design system once again. So owning multiple brands is not an issue here. It's not going to be a problem if you're trying to run multiple different sub brands or different styles. If you have completely different brands, just go ahead and put your information here. And once you're done, the second design system will pop up just like it does there. So now is where we can go ahead and start to create prototypes. And here's where we have the differences between wireframe and fidelity. So wireframe is essentially just a wireframe, which is something super basic that doesn't really have all of the details. Whereas high fidelity is completely different. Let me show you guys the difference between the two so you don't waste credits on either one. Let's call this the AI grid landing page because I'm in desperate need of one. So let's go ahead and click create. And I'm just going to say, create me a landing page for my AI newsletter. And let's click send. Here you can see it's going to come up with a lot of questions so that I can make the design even better. This often happens when you don't have a very good prompt. So if you're a beginner, you're watching this tutorial, you don't always need to input the best prompt and prompt tag. It's always best just to put something basic and Claude will verify exactly what you need. So I'm just going to use this and call this the AI Grid Weekly. The core value proposition is just going to be the best AI tools and workflows for free. Then I'm going to just click here and say that this is a weekly newsletter. Then I'm going to say this is tools, products, and spotlights, primary CTAs and email sign-up form, yes, subscribe account. Then I'm going to say no here. And then I'm going to say clean and minimal. And then I'm just going to say medium. And then let's just click continue. And so here you can see that this is essentially the wireframe. So the reason that this is essentially good is because what this does is this allows you to preview what you could potentially have before you actually make it. Now, this is useful for a variety of different reasons because not only does it save you time, but it also allows you to edit in a lot of detail before you go ahead and make the full thing. Now, do remember that this is still useful because maybe you want an actual designer to go ahead and do this, or you want to make changes yourself. So you can see right here that we got a split hero, we've got a stat-led build, and this is just super useful. And so I would say the last thing about these wireframes that is super useful is that they just allow you to improve the user experience. This is of course a little bit more advanced. Beginners don't really need to do this, but they're essentially perfect for testing ideas quickly. You can see that quickly we managed to get 3 different areas, and I think it's clear that the one that I do like here is this stat-led build. Now, of course, if you don't like what you do see, you can change things completely by using the edit button. By clicking the edit button, then clicking the selected area that you do want to edit, like let's say here, we can then edit exactly what we want. It's important that you do this because if you just talk and edit, it's going to cost you way more in tokens. So if there's any granular changes that you do want to do, like maybe let's say on the other page, you want to edit something or delete something, you can just do this with whatever word that you want. I can change this to, let's say, for example, 4,000. I can edit certain words, which is extremely useful. And of course, you can edit the colors, the margin, and the radius. Of course, if you want to get real creative, you can click the draw icon and then you're going to be able to do even more there. And this just helps you out when you're visually asking Claude to make those changes. Of course, if you do like what you do have, this is where you can export. You have several different export options up here. Many of these allow you to export to different programs that are much easier to edit. So now what I can do is, let's say I actually do like this stat-led build. What I will do is I will say, turn the stat-led build into a high fidelity landing page, no longer a wireframe. And so let's go ahead and click send. Now remember, as this project progresses, keep an eye on that usage. We've not done that much, but you can already see I've used up 61% of my entire usage. And so let's actually take a look at what it's able to do here. You can see that it was able to turn that wireframe into a completely amazing landing page. And I will have to say, this is very effective compared to some of the other AI tools I've used. And you can see that it actually has my logo in the top left, has the right areas and borders. And so I can truly say that this is how you want to be doing your workflows when using the platform. Once again, of course, you can make some changes. So here it gives you some buttons that you can use, you know, turn or on or off the glow effects, the stats number. Of course, like I said before, you could still once again use the same edit button to edit things if you would like. This allows more granular editing rather than just burning tokens. So if you wish to navigate back to your landing page or other things that you're using in that specific project, you can see and look up at the tabs here and you're able to navigate from left to right. It's useful as you don't have to go all the way back to the homepage. Now, if you do have too many projects and you want to start editing them or deleting them, just go in here, hover, click right, and you can either rename that or delete that. So I'm going to rename this and I'm going to say AI Grid Landing Page bull. And so I'm just going to click enter. And now that is there. Now, of course, this is where I'll show you guys how you can create other pieces of designs that Claude Design is really good at. Now, an important thing that most people don't realize that you can get really creative with in Claude Design is this tweaks feature. You see, what tweaks allows you to do is it allows you to make design changes on the fly that you otherwise wouldn't be able to, and it actually saves you tokens. Let me show you an example of how these tweaks in the bottom right hand side, when you're doing your initial prompt, can be prompted so that they save you tokens and so that you can view different variations of your own product. So you can do this yourself. If you hit the home and then you go to examples, if you literally scroll all the way down to the iridescent card, you can see here that they prompted this one with an iridescent card where they said, create a monochromatic playing card. Display it on the page with a rich perspective, horror effect, and glow. But the important thing is what they added at the end. They said, add tweaks for as many aspects of this effect as you can. And you can see the tweaks are essentially small changes where you can change what is being displayed without having to re-render the entire project. Here you can see you can change the hue, the iridescence, the glow, the noise, so many different factors that you can change. And this is just really useful depending on what kind of design you do want. We can also see that this was done here again with this construction kit calculator. Once again, they said, provide a simple calculator UI with a lot of tweaks. Do not use the normal tweak system. Keeps these tweaks on screen at all time. You can see you've got rounded, sharp. It just changes these small design aspects. You can see you can look at the different way that this thing is shaped. You can see you've got the size, you've got the center, you've got the left. All of these things, rather than asking Claude, hey, can you put this left? Can you change the font here? Can you do this or that? Essentially what tweaks are, is there a way for you to edit granularly with buttons rather than having to go in manually and edit everything? Now, another use case that I continually see is that Claude can do animations. Now, I will say that animations here are really cool, but the only problem is that they are super compute intensive. If you say, create a sprite-based animation that gives the fun facts about the distance of the celestial bodies, this is the animation that will pop up. The only problem is that I've seen that when these animations do take place, they do basically burn through your entire usage limit. So if you do want to do this on the Pro plan, I would say be prepared to only get 1 or 2 prompts out for a 60-second video. Whilst it will do a very good video, the problem is that you're not going to have any credits left to be able to use the system further. And that is super important because people don't realize just how many credits this system can burn. But otherwise, it is really useful to be able to create an animation. I would say make sure you're trying to ensure it doesn't go for too long or too short and that you get out exactly what you need. And do remember that it is only very basic animations that you can use. It isn't some crazy motion graphics editor. It is something that is super basic, but nonetheless, it is something that is super useful. Now, what most people don't realize about Claude Design is that Claude actually has so many different skills. If you want to see these secret skills, if you click Design System, it'll pop up with all the current skill and design systems that Claude already has. This shows you all of the native formats that Claude has that it is exceptionally good at. So here you can see it has the animated video one. So if we use this, it's basically going to design that animated video in a much better way than you're doing a simple prompt. If we go once again, the interactive prototype, this is where you can go ahead and have interactive prototypes. Once again, you can see we've got slide decks here. You've also got make it tweakable, which we just spoke about. Then you've got front-end design, wireframe, and PowerPoints. So this is where you've got stuff that would be very good in PowerPoint. So if you want to export it over to there, that is very effective. Then you've got save as a PDF, whereas basically it's going to create it so the PDF comes out nice. And I would say make sure that you use one of these beforehand, because if you don't, it's not going to be the best output in terms of what it's trying to do. So make sure you use these skills and don't forget to always ensure that your design system is clicked on when you're creating anything.